On June 30th, 2025, officers responded to a disturbance at a Walmart after a woman refused to leave following a denied money transfer. She had been on the premises since 8:37 in the morning. The incident ended with a physical confrontation and an arrest.
What's going on there?
Go and meet.
What's going on?
Go and meet everywhere. Everywhere, go and meet. Go and me and my children.
Okay. Well, I'm here because I guess they're having some issues and they don't want you in the store, okay? So
My
you just
problem is my husband come here and my man and my check. Me after finish job, come here and my man. Me come send my money today, no my money here.
Okay,
go and me every time
Stop
today.
yelling. I'm not yelling at you, so you need to stop raising
To
your
go,
voice.
go.
No,
me
you
and
need to go.
to my children.
Let's
Go and
Out.
me.
You need
Go
to leave
and
the property.
me. Go and me. Go and me. Go and me. Go and me. Go and
I need you to help me, okay? Can you tell your daughter that things are gonna be okay? I need her to come with us. But talk to her. Okay? Is there anybody else here with you? Ma'am, is there anybody else here with you?
So you said the guy left?
Yeah, I guess they said, I got here like 10:15 and she was sitting there and they said she entered about 8:40 or so. And they were telling me that they came in together, she went up to the counter, I guess, to try to do a transaction, and he walked off and left them. And so, yeah.
But you don't know if they got hit in the car or anything?
No, we're still checking our cameras right
Okay,
now to see.
yeah, so...
I don't know if you
That's
asked
right.
for her ID or...
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
But you guys did deny the transaction, right?
Yeah, so, well, I guess it was like for almost $7,000, and he's like, yeah, it didn't go through, and then she said, oh no, I wanted to do for like $660, and then she started saying that, oh, you guys took my money, and she was like, they were showing her like, no, it's canceled, it never went through or anything, and I guess she just refused to believe that, and so the daughter called the auntie, one of the aunts.
One of the other daughters?
Yeah, the older daughter, she called her aunt and told her like, hey, talk to the mom and explain to her like, hey, no, nothing happened, you didn't take any money, just contact the bank and everything, but she just didn't want to leave.
Were you able to prove the transaction was fraudulent? What they were trying to do?
Again, I don't know if they were saying it was fraudulent or she was saying that she sends her check like straight to her husband. So my assumption is that it might have been a fraudulent transaction, but we do have like a paper record showing that nothing went through.
So that's why you guys stopped it before it...
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
Okay. And you're AP here, right?
Yes.
And you just stayed there before I got here? You were there the whole time?
Yeah, because they were just kind of behind the counter, so I was like, I asked her if like to kind of move over a little bit, and she just didn't want to.
Okay, so you said they got here like around 8:40, and then she's just been sitting there.
Let me see it. So it's here, been here since 8:37.
8:37. And then she's just been sitting there since then.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Miss Joni can help you out.
Hello. You know if they showed up in a car?
Well, looks like he walked.
You got that husband?
Yeah, that's the husband right there.
And he took off?
He left her, yeah. He left the store. I saw him in the front of the parking, or in front of the store, around 9:40.
Okay.
But he stayed there for a while and then stayed with the wife. This is him. This is his final, because he stayed in the store at 9:40 in front.
came back into the store, and this is where he is at 9:57.
And he hasn't came back since.
He has not come back.
So he was last seen walking going northbound?
Northbound, where it looks like that bus stop. I don't know if he's there at the bus stop, but I don't have a. But she came into the store at 8:37. There he is walking right there. I could pull up and backtrack them at 8:37 and see where they came from.
Yeah, see if they pull up in a car or something.
Okay.
And then I don't know if you have like the camera angle where the incident happened with the
Yes,
officer.
that I do have that angle right here. Yeah. It looks like they did come off the bus.
Came off of the bus.
Yeah.
And she was just not wanting to leave.
She didn't want to leave. I tried to explain to her the transaction didn't go through. She persisted that she wanted to send money to Nigeria. And we kept telling her in order for her to do that, she would have to use her card and then it would ask for a PIN number. And she said she doesn't know the PIN number, that she would withdraw the money. So I told her in order to do that, you still need a PIN number. So you can go to your bank and withdraw the money and then you can come back and we can see if we can help you. But she still wouldn't leave. So, and she kept telling us, just call the police. And she wouldn't even leave. And I tried reasoning with her, try to, prevent the situation from happening, but she just would not. She wouldn't give in.
That's it from there.
That's it from there.
Oh.
Okay?
Cool. Thank you.
The first legal issue is criminal trespass. Under common law, trespass requires 3 elements: presence on the property, a lawful notice to leave, and a willful refusal to comply. All 3 were satisfied here. The subject had been asked to leave repeatedly by authorized store personnel, and each additional minute on the premises constitute a continuing offense occurring in the officer's presence, satisfying the warrantless arrest threshold. The second issue is use of force. In Graham v. Connor, decided in 1989, the Supreme Court held that force must be objectively reasonable from the officer's perspective at the moment of decision, not assessed in hindsight. Relevant factors include the severity of the offense, whether the subject poses an immediate threat, and whether she is actively resisting. The subject was resisting verbal commands and had reportedly thrown items inside the store prior to the officer's arrival, each factor supporting escalation on the use of force continuum.
What's your name? Catch your breath, okay? Catch your breath. Catch your breath, okay? What's done is done, okay? You need to catch your breath, okay? Okay. Breathe, okay? You need to talk to me, okay? What's your name? What's your name? We have some medics here. They're gonna help you out, okay? Are you hurting anywhere?
Yes, what's going on, man?
They used force on her. She did. She's trespassing and resisting. But she has these 4 kids outside. Okay. She doesn't want to give her information.
So just here, can I
Okay? Not talking to the police or just talking to us? What's your name?
Sakina.
What do you spell that? What's going on right now? Where are you hurting?
No question. Go and me everywhere. Go and me everywhere. Go and me everywhere.
What are we talking about, okay? We gotta calm down.
She hasn't been talking since. That's the first we've ever heard of her.
It's like, I need you to breathe, okay? Take some breath.
Do you speak
Can we help you?
My children everywhere.
Your children are outside, okay? There's plenty of people watching them right now. They're okay.
We can try to get you some. So you're worried about your children, right?
All my children.
So, okay.
All my
Do you
children.
have anybody that can come watch them?
No.
Do you have anybody that you know here that lives in Cruces? A friend or family member? Okay. What are their names? What are your children's names?
Everything is finished. Go and me everywhere. No question or time. Go and me everywhere. No question.
No question.
Go finish, please. Go finish, please. Go. Go and see everywhere. My name is Sakina. Today, go call my children. Come here. Go and me and my children.
Children are right out here. We're looking after them. Okay. Akina, what's your last name?
For me today, not my husband. No husband today for me. No. No husband today for me. No, 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 no. No.
What's your last name?
Sir, you're not turning the fan for you, okay?
Alright, just before you leave, can I get her name and date of birth?
Yes. Her name is Noela.
Noela?
Noela.
The third issue is the language barrier and its effect on due process. The 14th Amendment guarantees due process before any deprivation of liberty. Where a subject cannot understand the order she is being arrested for failing to follow, the proportionality of the arrest becomes legally contestable. No interpreter was requested at any point during the interaction. ILACP de-escalation standards recommend engaging language access services as early as possible. This omission does not automatically invalidate the arrest, but it creates civil liability exposure and weakens the proportionality argument in any subsequent proceeding. The fourth issue is identification. In Hiibel versus the 6th Judicial District Court of Nevada, decided in 2004, the Supreme Court held that officers in stop-and-identify states may compel a subject to state her name during a lawful detention. The subject was lawfully detained on trespass grounds, making the identification request legally valid. Her repeated refusal did not create a new charge in most jurisdictions, but it is an aggravating factor in the overall conduct assessment. The fifth issue is resisting arrest. Most state statutes define this offense as knowingly impeding a lawful arrest through physical force. Critically, the lawfulness of the underlying arrest is a prerequisite. If the trespass charge were to be dismissed, for example, on due process grounds related to the language barrier, the resisting arrest charge would be legally undermined as well. Both charges are interdependent and will rise or fall together in court. The responding officer receives a B. The legal basis for the arrest was sound, post-restraint medical assessment was correctly conducted, and the officer maintained professional composure throughout. However, no interpreter was requested despite a persistent and obvious language barrier. Under Atwater v. City of Lago Vista, decided in 2001, a custodial arrest for a minor offense is constitutionally permissible, but proportionality in execution remains a professional standard. The failure to exhaust language access options before physical escalation is the single most significant tactical and legal gap in this interaction. The subject receives a C+. The underlying grievance was genuine and the language barrier created real disadvantage. Both are mitigating factors a court will consider. However, remaining on private property for approximately 2 hours after multiple lawful notices to leave, physically resisting arrest, and refusing to identify herself during a lawful detention are independent legal violations, each carrying its own criminal exposure. The legally correct response to a disputed transaction is to leave, contact the bank, obtain written confirmation, and return with documentation. Staying on the premises converted a civil dispute into a criminal one. Walmart Asset Protection receives a B+. Staff made multiple good faith attempts to resolve the dispute before calling law enforcement and provided organized, time-stamped CCTV evidence to officers on scene. The area for improvement is the same as for the officer. Over a 2-hour window, no language access service was attempted. Earlier interpreter access had a meaningful probability of resolving this incident without any police involvement at all. 3 key lessons from this incident. First, language barriers do not suspend legal obligations, but they substantially affect proportionality analysis. Departments and businesses should treat interpreter access as a first response tool, not an afterthought. Second, when a financial dispute arises at a retail location, the legally sound response is to leave, gather documentation, and pursue resolution through the bank or small claims process. Remaining on the premises converts a civil dispute into a criminal one. Third, resisting arrest compounds legal jeopardy significantly, even when the underlying arrest may be contestable. The remedy for a potentially unlawful arrest is a court challenge, not physical resistance at the scene. At the time of this analysis, the outcome of criminal proceedings remains unknown. Any defense would likely center on due process challenges arising from the unaddressed language barrier. Transaction records, if confirming no funds were ever transferred, would simultaneously undermine any civil claim by the subject and corroborate the store's position throughout the encounter.
And then I know that they had mentioned that you were here, but you took off.
Yeah.
Did you go somewhere or
I have a shift.
work?
Yeah, work. So
Okay.
that's why I left for running to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know that the rep said the dad was here, but I don't know where he went.
So I told them, yeah, I'm working, and the time is almost. Let me go to work.
Did you have any clue what your wife was doing or what she was up to? Did you know?
I knew that when she left home, I did not know that she is coming to send money.
To send money?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's
when
all you know?
when I reached it, when I knew that she's trying to send money home back.
Did you bring her an ID?
And so she left an ID. When she said about an ID, I knew she's sending money.
Okay.
She left the ID and social security certificate at home. So I brought her back here. And then I go back home, preparing to go to work. So,
I think what happened is that they denied her request, but she got very belligerent. She got very upset, and then she started throwing things around. So I don't know why she got so upset.
so I left them. I don't know why she
you didn't
behaved
see-
like
okay.
that.
Okay.
But what I know is that she left her ID at home. She forgot it at home. So when she called me, I thought they are in daycare. I went to daycare, and the teacher of daycare said, no, they are not in. And I called her, where are you? I'm at daycare, I'm not seeing you. Then we are at Walmart. So I thought they are coming to shop something. But I told her, oh, I thought you are in daycare. So are you with mom there? She said yes. So let me come over there to bring her ID because I knew she's trying to send some money. I brought her ID and social security number, and then I went to prepare for myself to go to my shift.
Okay.
What happened to me? I don't know what happened.
Other than that, you guys are good to go. I know she's receiving some charges because of what she did inside, and then resisting arrest with the officer that was there, and she wasn't letting the officer detain her and all that. She was kind of throwing her arms around. So I think she's gonna be under arrest, and she'll be able to give you a call. Does she have your phone number?
She has it.
Does she know it?
Yeah, she knows.
She knows it. Okay.
Maybe in case of anything, you can contact me.
Yes, we have your number, so in case of anything. She's gonna go down to the detention center, and they'll probably release her today, so she'll be able to call you from there to go pick her up.
Thank you.
Okay? All right, do you have any questions for me?
No, maybe until she finish all what you are doing. I'm just downtown, it's where I will be working. I'm going to leave this to daycare.
To daycare? Okay. You're good to go ahead and do that, and then head to work, and then just be expecting a phone call from her.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay? Alrighty.
Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching.